Level 1. The escape begins. You find the world either too dull or too heavy to bear, so you retreat into the only place that still feels alive: the movies. It starts innocently enough, a weekend tradition with your family, sitting cross-legged in front of the television watching E.T., The Lion King, or Spider-Man. Those early Spielberg adventures and Disney classics plant something deep inside you, a feeling that stories on a screen can make life brighter. As you grow, cinema becomes more than background noise. It becomes a refuge. You start to see yourself in the heroes who save the day and the dreamers who never fit in. Eventually, your curiosity stretches beyond the multiplex. You discover studios like A24 and directors like Christopher Nolan, whose meticulous worlds pull you in completely. You treat Internet Movie Database film ratings like sacred scripture, memorizing the hierarchy of The Shawshank Redemption, The Godfather, Schindler's List, and The Dark Knight. Anything under an 8 feels beneath you. You watch trailers as if they are omens, and call actors by their first names, as though you know them personally. You start to feel a subtle pride when others call you a movie person. What you do not realize yet is that this is only the beginning, the first frame in a much larger film playing out in your mind. Level 2. The first true film buff. At this stage, you stop calling them movies and start calling them films. Something inside you shifts. You no longer just consume stories. You begin to dissect them. You start paying attention to the people behind the camera, the directors, writers, and cinematographers shaping the vision. You can now name who directed every film you watch, and you can tell a Tarantino frame from a Scorsese shot just by the rhythm of dialogue. You no longer rely on IMDb. You migrate to Letterboxd, Rotten Tomatoes, and Roger Ebert reviews. You start ranking films by director instead of by star rating. Scorsese, Kubrick, Coppola, and Nolan become sacred names. Their styles start to define your taste. You find yourself quoting Pulp Fiction, Memento, and Taxi Driver in casual conversation, half joking but half living it. You grow fascinated by non-linear storytelling. You watch Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind twice just to piece it together. Suddenly, sound design, editing, and mise en scène become part of your vocabulary. You start noticing when a dolly shot lingers a little too long, or when lighting feels intentional instead of accidental. And as your analytical eye sharpens, so does your judgment. You begin evaluating others' movie tastes too. Your love for cinema turns into a quiet superiority. You are no longer just a viewer, you are an emerging critic in disguise.
Sorry for stopping your video, but you really should subscribe.
Level 3. The Analyst emerges. You no longer watch films just to feel, you watch them to understand. At this level, YouTube video essays replace television, and the comment sections of film channels feel more like classrooms than casual spaces. You analyze why a scene in There Will Be Blood feels haunting, or how Scorsese uses music in Goodfellas to manipulate tension. You develop a fascination with symbolism. A flickering light, a camera tilt, or a lingering silence all seem to carry secret meaning. The deeper you dive, the more critical you become of the modern movie landscape. You start agreeing with Scorsese that cinema is being replaced by theme parks. The spectacle outweighs the story. You grow resentful towards streaming platforms, complaining that algorithms are killing discovery. You cancel Netflix and subscribe to Mubi, convinced that its curated library represents the last stronghold of true cinema. Characters begin to feel more real than the people around you. You identify with Travis Bickle's alienation, Walter White's transformation, and the narrator's quiet descent in Fight Club. You start mirroring them, walking slower, talking less, and viewing life like a camera observing chaos. Every film you watch seems to change you slightly, and each character leaves a permanent mark. Movies no longer entertain you, they define you. Level 4. The Cultivated Eye. By now, your relationship with film has deepened into obsession. You move beyond Hollywood, seeking out international masters whose names once sounded foreign but now feel intimate. Kurosawa's precision, Tarkovsky's meditative pace, and Bergman's spiritual unrest begin to reshape your worldview. You discover European auteurs like Robert Bresson and Werner Herzog. Their work feels raw and philosophical, as if you are witnessing the human soul projected on screen. You start exploring Iranian cinema, watching Abbas Kiarostami and Asghar Farhadi teach you that silence can say more than dialogue. Each film feels like a portal into another consciousness. You join online film communities, trading jokes about Lynch's Eraserhead or pretending Salo is a family film just to see who understands. You take pride in being misunderstood by casual moviegoers. Their confusion validates your dedication. Watching a film now feels like a ritual. You sit in darkness, phone off, mind open, waiting for transcendence. You believe cinema can dissolve prejudice and expand empathy, that watching Padar Panchali or The Mirror makes you more human. You begin to see movies not as entertainment but as emotional archaeology, each frame uncovering another layer of truth about the world and yourself. Level 5. The Creator's Crisis. At this stage, watching is no longer enough. You feel an urge to make something of your own. After years of studying great directors, you convince yourself that you understand the language of cinema deeply enough to speak it fluently. You download screenwriting software, buy a second-hand Super 8 camera, and begin writing your first script. It reads awkwardly, the dialogue feels forced, and the pacing collapses halfway through. You rewrite it several times, obsessing over structure, rhythm, and emotional payoff. You quote Robert McKee's story like it's scripture, and spend nights breaking scenes apart to study how Tarantino or Fincher would have built them. When you finally shoot your short film, reality hits hard. The lighting fails, the sound distorts, and the actors feel disconnected from your vision. You realize that understanding cinema is very different from creating it. The distance between theory and execution humbles you. You begin to question your talent, wondering if you are merely a critic masquerading as an artist. Yet, somewhere, beneath that doubt, lies the same spark that started it all, a belief that cinema can still change you. You stand on the edge of surrender, one decision away from either quitting or becoming consumed entirely. Level 6, the dedicated filmmaker. You decide not to quit. Instead, you surrender completely. You enroll in film school, certain that immersion is the only path forward. The classrooms smell of coffee, ink, and ambition. You spend sleepless nights dissecting Eisenstein's montage theory, studying André Bazin's essays on realism, and arguing with classmates about whether Godard liberated or destroyed cinema. Every day becomes a lesson in humility, every screening an awakening. You live and breathe cinema, attending late-night retrospectives, shooting experimental shorts with borrowed equipment, and editing on outdated software until sunrise. Your friends become fellow disciples of film. Together you quote Persona and Breathless until the lines blur between parody and reverence. You begin to see techniques in everything, a tracking shot in the way people walk down the street, chiaroscuro lighting in the glow of a city alley. Even raw footage from the internet feels cinematic to you. The boundaries between real and real start to dissolve. You are no longer just interpreting films, you are thinking in their language. Every dream feels like a sequence, every conversation like a scene. Life becomes composition, rhythm, and emotion. You are being trained not to watch movies but to live inside them. Level 7. The visionary creator. You have crossed the point of no return. Film is no longer something you do, it is who you are. You relocate to where cinema breathes, Los Angeles or Paris, cities where every street corner feels like a frame waiting to be captured. You work long hours on set, hauling cables, managing lights, or editing scenes deep into the night. The exhaustion feels sacred because it connects you to the same devotion that drove Kubrick to perfection or Tarkovsky to madness. You begin studying theater to deepen your visual instincts, reading Antonin Artaud's Theater of Cruelty, and realizing that cinema can overwhelm the senses into awakening. You experiment with angles and light until the world itself becomes composition. Your eyes pan like a camera when you meet someone new. Your mind cuts reality into shots and transitions. Life feels scripted, yet completely spontaneous. You no longer dream about making films. You dream in films. You think in exposure, in color temperature, in pacing. Conversations become dialogue, silence becomes sound design. You are not watching movies anymore, you are living one. The lens is your consciousness, reality is your set. Everything that moves, breathes, or fades is part of your eternal masterpiece. If you got this far, you're a degenerate cinephile like me. If so, you'll love the next video on your screen, so click on it and dive in.